Rock music in the 70s and 80s was, full of great bands. Some faded from the spotlight over time, but never stopped playing. Here are 8 bands rocking today. King's X has always been one of those hidden gems in rock history. Some say that if Alice in Chains and Sly and the Family Stone had a baby, it would be King's X. Formed in 1979, this powerhouse trio blends hard rock, progressive vibes, and soulful harmonies into a sound that's both heavy and melodic. They've influenced massive bands like Pearl Jam and Soundgarden, but somehow never became a household name themselves. Back in the late 80s, it looked like they might break through with albums like Gretchen Goes to Nebraska in 1989 and Faith, Hope, Love in 1990, featuring standout tracks like Over My Head and It's Love. Fans love them for their deep lyrics, groovy bass lines, and incredible vocal harmonies. After a 14-year break from recording, King's X made a comeback with 3 Sides of One in 2022. And guess what? Doug Pinnick, Ty Tabor, and Jerry Gaskill are still together, still making killer music, and still proving why they deserve way more attention than they get. Tesla hit the scene in the early 80s with a sound that set them apart from the flashy glam metal bands of the time. Instead of chasing trends, they leaned into bluesy, hard rock, and raw musicianship. Their debut album, Mechanical Resonance, introduced fans to modern-day cowboy, and with the great radio controversy in 1989, they scored a massive hit with Love Song. As the years went on, they kept evolving, dropping albums like Psychotic Supper, which gave us fan favorites like Edison's Medicine and What You Give. Like many bands, they went through lineup changes and even took a short break in the mid-90s, but Tesla never stayed down for long. Still rocking? Absolutely. In 2021, they dropped the single Cold Blue Steel, followed by Time to Rock in 2022. And in late 2024, they released their latest EP, All About Love. Tesla isn't just still around. They're still making music that hits just as hard as ever. Dokken exploded onto the scene in 1978, bringing a mix of soaring vocals and scorching guitar solos. Their debut album, Breaking the Chains, in 1983 put them on the map, and they followed up with Tooth and Nail in 1984 and Under Lock and Key in 1985, featuring iconic tracks like Alone Again and In My Dreams. Don Dokken's powerful voice and George Lynch's insane guitar work made them one of the biggest names in 80s metal. Of course, with great success comes great drama. Tensions between Don Dokken and George Lynch led to the band breaking up in 1989. They reunited in 1993. But over the years, the lineup has seen a lot of changes. That hasn't stopped them, though. Their latest album, Heaven Comes Down, dropped on October 27th, 2023, proving that they've still got plenty of fire left. They're still touring, keeping their signature melodic metal sound alive and well. This channel is on its way to stay. By subscribing, you help me keep it alive and well, bringing you more rock stories in the near future. Now let's move on to one of the most notorious bands in this list. W.A.S.P didn't just appear in 1982. They stormed in, turning heads with wild stage shows and lyrics that, well, made parents pretty nervous. Led by Blackie Lawless, their 1984 debut album blasted out hits like I Wanna Be Somebody and Love Machine, instantly making them one of metal's most outrageous bands. Then in 1985, The Last Command dropped, bringing us anthems like Wild Child and Blind in Texas. By then, W.A.S.P had, fully earned their reputation as one of metal's biggest troublemakers. Over the years, they proved they were more than just shock rock. Albums like The Headless Children in 1989 and the concept-driven The Crimson Idol in 1992 pushed their sound in new directions. Obviously, lineup changes happened, but Blackie Lawless never let W.A.S.P fade away. and they're still at it. Their last album, Golgotha, came out in 2015, but they're far from done. They're still tearing up stages, and with a major show set for 2025, it's clear that W.A.S.P has no plans to slow down. Saxon has been flying the flag for British heavy metal since 1906, and they've never let up. As a key part of the new wave of British heavy metal movement, they made their mark with Wheels of Steel and Strong Arm of the Law in 1980, followed by Denim and Leather in 1981. Tracks like 747, Strangers in the Night, and Princess of the Night became instant classics, inspiring countless bands. While many of their peers faded out, Saxon kept pushing forward. They never stopped recording or touring, releasing Carpe Diem in 2022, and more Inspirations in 2023 as a tribute to their influences. Then in early 2024, they proved they've still got it with Hell, Fire, and Damnation. Nearly 5 decades later, they're still going strong. With Biff Byford leading the way, Saxon remains one of the most reliable, no-nonsense metal bands out there. Helix started rocking in 1974, slowly making a name for themselves in Canada's hard rock scene. It took a while, but in 1984, they finally broke through with Walkin' the Razor's Edge, featuring their biggest hit, Rock You. From then on, well, they never stopped. Throughout the 80s, they toured non-stop, sharing stages with Kiss, Aerosmith, Rush, Motley Crue, and Whitesnake. The 90s hit hard. In 1992, they lost guitarist Paul Hackman in a tragic accident. Obviously, that could have ended the band, but frontman Brian Vollmer kept things going through lineup changes and shifting trends. They kept recording, releasing It's a Business Doing Pleasure in 1993 and Rockin' in My Outer Space in 2004. Helix is still active today. In 2022, they released Not My Circus, Not My Clowns, and teased a 2023 album. But now, in 2025, there's still no sign of it. You know, Helix never stays down for long. Loudness formed in 1981, led by guitar master Akira Takasaki and drummer Munetaka Higuchi. They quickly became Japan's biggest metal band and, well, made history as the first from the country to sign with a major American label. Their 1985 album Thunder in the East featured Crazy Nights, which helped them break into the US market. Other tracks like Rock and Roll Crazy Nights and Let It Go only boosted their international reputation. Things weren't always easy. Vocalist Minoru Nihara left in 1988, and in 2008 they suffered a huge loss when Higuchi passed away. But instead of slowing down, Takasaki kept Loudness going. In 2021, they dropped Sunburst, proving they could evolve while staying true to their roots. Loudness is still going strong, performing live and working on new material. Obviously, their dedication to metal has kept their fan base loyal worldwide. Y&T kicked off in 1974. We're in Oakland, California, back when they were still called Yesterday and Today. It didn't take long before they started making waves with their explosive energy and, well, some killer songwriting. Their early albums, Earthshaker in 1981, Black Tiger in 1982, and Mean Streak in 1983, gave us classics like Rescue Me and Mean Streak. You know, they had that perfect blend of melody and grit, proving they could stand with the biggest rock acts. By the mid-80s, they peaked with In Rock We Trust and Down for the Count, featuring Summertime Girls. I guess every band faces struggles, and for Y&T, lineup changes and the loss of Phil Kennemore and Leonard Hayes hit hard, but they never quit. In March 2024, Dave Meniketti teased a new album, but as of 2025, well, we're still waiting. Meanwhile, they keep touring, proving their love for rock never fades. And that's a wrap. These legends prove that real rock never fades. Their passion keeps the spirit alive, reminding us why classic rock still rules. Keep the volume up and rock on.